What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 2016 career mode, episode number 18 today for the USA Grand Prix. And you join us here at the beginning of the weekend, confirming our third engine upgrade has been installed now. So if you missed the last episode, you would have missed out that obviously we got enough points to buy the third engine upgrade. We bought it and then we ceased development R&D. So that means we'll get a 25% bonus at the end of the season going into season 2. So we'll get a good chunk. So if we earn 1,000 points, let's say theoretically, we'll get an extra 250 there added onto that to spend at Australia. And so those upgrades will come in for theoretically Bahrain of the second season. So that's why I wanted to wait a little bit just to get one last upgrade here to make sure our car starts the second season, or when we get to the end of this one, as strong as possible. You can see there, I thought we might jump Red Bull at the end of last episode because it did look like we were going to jump them with this engine upgrade, but unfortunately Red Bull have also bought upgrades themselves. You can see they're now nearly on par with Ferrari there on the right hand side, so we would have actually been ahead of Red Bull and the third fastest car, but Red Bull decided to bring upgrades at the same time as us to match Ferrari. You can see Mercedes, despite being out on the lead on the right hand side, they've not looked too strong in the last few races. A lot of mistakes, engine failures for them, so it's an interesting championship nonetheless. Even though we're not in the fight, looking at the AI's championship, it's a very close one because you got Sebastian Vettel, Rosberg, Hamilton all swapping positions at the top there, and also the constructors at the moment. I believe Ferrari are leading the constructors, so Mercedes could get that back this race. But we move on to the story of practice. Did the usual practice programs, got through them all fine and dandy in this one compared to Japan where we had a few issues with the track acclimatization. So we did all 50 points for that, 50 points for the tyre wear test, and 50 points for the qualifying pace. It was all very nice and cool. So as I mentioned in the Japan video, it's very dependent on track to track, but I feel like there's some inconsistencies with how you can do at the kind of practice programs, which ones are harder and which ones are not. But we did that all fine, and then we moved on. Just before qualifying, we got given a new rival of Daniel Ricciardo, which seems like a reasonable thing, but you're about to see why maybe not, and why this is going to be a difficult rival to beat. We did beat Verstappen, but Ricciardo's been a lot more consistent and better in this career mode so far for me, so this might be a tricky one. So we move on to Q2 now in qualifying. Obviously, thankfully, Q1 was a formality, but into Q2, you can see I'm doing it on the soft tyres at the moment. I just thought I would try my luck, try and see if we could get through into Q3 on the soft tyres. Unfortunately, we set our first lap, and it's not even good enough to get in provisionally into Q3, so P11 there. So we did have to go out on the super soft. So it was worth the punt, but clearly here at this Grand Prix, we just didn't have the pace to get into Q3 on the soft tyres. I think there's a lot of tyre wear around this circuit, but it does kind of mean that the super softs end up being really quite good compared to the softs. They're very much like almost like a qualifying tyre. In the race, we might only spend like 5-6 laps on them actually, so they wear out quite a bit, but they're a lot faster than the softs, it appears. So at least for me it was. And so we got into Q3. Jenson Button surprisingly did not make it in on super softs, which is weird, which is very weird because he's been really good lately in this career mode. Obviously he got a podium last race, so that was a little bit frustrating for me not to see him in Q3, but oh well, we'll continue on and be the only gunner for Mclaren here in Q3. So we start that qualifying lap right now, and generally my Q3 lap, I felt like it was a decent one. I felt like I lost a bit of time here and there, and it wasn't quite as good as my Q2 lap, so that could have been a little bit better. But all through the entire qualifying, the story of it was pretty much Red Bull domination. It was very odd. It was very weird to see the Red Bulls doing so well here at this Grand Prix. Obviously, we've not been used to that for a while now, but it was pretty much like going back to 2013. The two Red Bulls in a class of their own, Verstappen and Ricciardo looking very strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get a 1-2 in the Grand Prix tomorrow, because as we come through the final corner, you can see Ricciardo is on pole position. I can tell you Max Verstappen is in second. We're going to come through, surprise, for 7th place. I don't know what to say anymore, guys, because even you guys started to make jokes in the comment section about, it being a very staple thing now in this career mode, me getting 7th, but I just don't know what it is. I just don't know. We just keep getting 7th. I guess it's the kind of position we're in, you got the kind of top 3 teams, which take up P1 to P6, and then we're there as the 4th fastest car, so that's where I always naturally slot in, so I don't know what else to say to you guys. So P7, good position for the Grand Prix. We can see the two Red Bulls locking out the front row. Let's see what goes on here at Kota. Let's go to the USA Grand Prix. Right, so as per usual, taking a look at the race strategy ahead of the formation lap. Now you can see it's going to be a two-stop, super soft, and then soft. I did debate for a second putting on medium tyres, just trying to see maybe that's going to be more comfortable for me, because potentially the tyre wear could be quite bad here around USA, but the race strategy delta time was telling me that the faster way was going to be with the soft tyres. I also looked about looking if I could not use two sets of super softs, but it seemed like that was also going to be the fastest way around it, so I was quite surprised, to be honest, because it sounds like quite an aggressive strategy, to be honest. Two super soft tyres and a soft tyre here at USA, which is known to be quite hard on the tyre, especially with that first sector, but we'll see how it goes today, and I'll have to keep faith with my engineers despite what happened at Japan. But either way, we go to 5 red lights for the USA Grand Prix, and we're underway. We get an absolute stonking start compared to Kimi Räikkönen there, who literally just bogs down so much, completely goes off on our screen on the left hand side. Now we try and move down the inside. Sebastian Vettel, Rosberg's pinched Hamilton wide there, and Ricciardo off pole position is down to 3rd place. Max Verstappen now leads the USA Grand Prix. We go side by side with Daniel Ricciardo, the Australian, in the Red Bull, but he gets us on the entry into the S section, but we're up into 4th place nonetheless. So a great start from us, and Rosberg there aggressive to pinch Hamilton out of room into turn 1, and Verstappen to get up into 1st place, and Ricciardo bogging down a lot. So a lot of bogging down from the AI there with Räikkönen and Ricciardo. But now here we go on the end of the back straight on lap 1, the opening lap, and we've gone cleanly past Ricciardo. So who would have thought we'd be going right clean past a Red Bull car by just showing that now with our 3 engine upgrades now for the Honda engine, it's looking pretty decent compared to a Red Bull Renault engine in the back of that car. But against a Mercedes engine, I'm not too sure, because you can see now onto lap 2 on the back straight, Hamilton is in the mirrors now, and he's looking very, very quick down that back straight on the inside line. He gets us on the braking. I tried to brake a little bit earlier to maybe do a switchback line, didn't really work out for us completely, and so we have to stick behind in 4th. You can see now Daniel Kvyat is behind us in 5th place in the Toro Rosso, and he's overtaken the Red Bull, so he's doing absolutely wonderful in the Toro Rosso at the moment. So Toro Rosso looking pretty good. Of course, I think both of them got into Q3, wasn't it? So we're now on to lap 3. DRS has been enabled, and crucially you can see we are keeping up with Hamilton. Actually, we're keeping him honest here, so if we just keep up within this gap, we'll have DRS on him on the back straight, and with DRS our car should be fast enough to actually catch him. And so talking about literally about that move, we cut onto it, and we are overtaking Lewis Hamilton, trying to re-overtake him for what will be 4th place in this Grand Prix, locking up a little bit on the left front tyre, but we squeeze him out. He's going to keep it down the inside though, so fair play, going to have to give him the room there, and we make sure we do round the outside. He keeps his nose in there. You can see his left front tyre on my rear right tyre. He swoops around for a wide line, doesn't work out for him, and we squeeze him out, and we're up into 4th place. But very, very encouraging that, okay, yeah, although without DRS, he can overtake us very, very easily in a straight line. With some DRS, slipstream, a good run off the off that corner, on the hairpin corner, onto the back straight, we can actually catch and overtake the Mercedes car. So really, really showing that the engine upgrades have worked, and I'm very, very happy that in the end we chose to do that 3rd engine upgrade, and now we've ceased the R&D, because now I feel like we've got enough upgrades that we can fight, well enough for potentially podiums, or just, around here in 4th and 5th, and that'll be good enough for the rest of the season, and then we can think about next season, obviously, when it comes. But I'm glad we got that upgrade done. But now we move later on to the Grand Prix, lap 7 now, so this will be for a second set of super soft tyres. Not too sure what Hamilton and Räikkönen are going to do. They might go into the same set, or they could potentially go on soft tyres. You just never know. They might be doing a bit of a flip to what I'm doing. Obviously, we're going to end the race on the soft tyres, whereas they might be ending it on the super softs, which might be a good idea for them. But Hamilton looks like he's on super softs, and Räikkönen as well, so no worries there. But the only worry is, remember, Ricciardo was on soft tyres. He qualified on those tyres in Q2. Probably a reason why he bogged down at the beginning of the race, to be honest, but he could do some good work now in clean air, because those soft tyres will go a lot longer, because as we move later on into the Grand Prix, about 1 lap later onto lap 8, we've caught up to Palmer, who you can see is on soft tyres. He's still going. He's definitely stayed on those set of tyres since the beginning of the Grand Prix. So Ricciardo's probably somewhere down the distance, down the road on the circuit, still on his soft tyres, trying to stretch them out as much as you can. You can see, though, the grip levels are very, very different. I just completely caught up, even before the DRS came, I completely caught up to Palmer right on the back of his gearbox there, just on pure traction. But crucially, we'll overtake him, but it looks like Räikkönen and Hamilton are going to get stuck behind Palmer here. So that's going to work out for us quite well, actually. So Palmer, my fellow Brit, probably going to hold up Räikkönen quite well there, and Hamilton, and indeed Verstappen, who I think you can see in the background there, who pit a lap earlier than us. That is a Red Bull, so I'm going to guess that's definitely Max Verstappen, who pit a lap earlier than all of us on lap 6. But Palmer's going to hold them up a little bit, so we move on to lap 11 now. A few laps later, you can see Hamilton's now behind us. He's overtaken Räikkönen. They've all cleared Palmer, so now it's his chance to overtake me once more in this Grand Prix. Prix, and yet again, we're sat here with no one ahead of us, so we've got no DRS to defend. I moved to the kind of middle part of the actual straight just to stop any kind of toe and slipstream I might be giving Hamilton. But he's looking quite dangerous here. He's got DRS wide open at this point. He's coming around on our right-hand side. He'll swoop around the outside. We'll do our best to defend down the inside. We have done so, squeezed him out, but he's still going to keep his nose in, actually. And up behind us, you can see Verstappen having a go at Raikkonen, but Hamilton has gone right down the inside of us there, side by side, even more so than before. And we'll have to try and swoop it down the inside here. Second gear, pinch the apex, pinch him out for space, and we'll just about get it, I think. Hamilton's still going to stick it down the inside through the swooping right-hander, the double, triple right-hander, actually. But it looks like we'll just keep it ahead of Hamilton, and Verstappen has been unable to overtake Raikkonen behind us. We can see in a bit of a forced snaking train here through these final corners, just trying to keep these guys at bay. Raikkonen dives into the pits for a very early pit stop, actually, because I feel like I'm going to be taking these tyres at least a few laps longer. But Raikkonen dives in, sees an undercut opportunity, maybe his engineers told him about a gap. But now, as we move on to the very next lap, it's not over yet, because Hamilton tries to move round the outside, and it's not Max Verstappen. I thought the entire time that was Max Verstappen. It's been Daniel Ricciardo the entire time. My apologies. I thought that was Verstappen the entire time. So Verstappen might be out in front at the moment in this Grand Prix. I don't know what happened to Ricciardo then, because he was on the soft tyres, so there's no reason why he should be down here with us, because I felt like he should have gone longer in the Grand Prix. So, okay, fair enough. That's Ricciardo then, who's got Hamilton as I squeezed Hamilton out. And then on the very next lap, lap 13, we do the exact same thing, but to Ricciardo this time, and Hamilton can now get what can basically do what Ricciardo did to him on the previous lap and get the place back, and he's back into fourth place. We're up into third at the moment, so we have jumped one position, and that position, I'm not too sure where that's actually gone, but you can see Verstappen is in second ahead of us, and Rosberg's in this Grand Prix. But we come on to lap 15 now into the pit. So at the moment, it looks like it's a fight for the lead between Rosberg and Verstappen, and then it's me, Ricciardo, Vettel, and Raikkonen potentially fighting for what could be a great third place if we get it. That's Max Verstappen there. He's coming to the pit, so he's nearly like at least half a pit stop ahead of us as he goes out there on the pit exit. But you can see Vettel came in with us behind us. Me and Vettel have both gone longer on that middle set of tyres, because you can see there, if you move on to the left-hand side, you can see that's Ricciardo coming down the pit straight, and Hamilton indeed. Ricciardo's going to jump us there. He's on medium tyres, though, crucially. You can see there in the background on the right-hand side, that is Hamilton. So we've kept ahead of Hamilton, but Ricciardo's actually jumped us. He's made the undercut work. We've gone longer on those super soft tyres in the second stint, and obviously they're going to wear out even more, so that didn't help us there. But as I mentioned, crucially, you can see in the top left, he's on medium tyres, and by lap 16, you can see he's getting held up by all these guys. He's getting held up by Raikkonen and the two Haas cars, and also that's a good point to make. Raikkonen has made that undercut work. Remember, he pit about 2 laps earlier than us, and he's really made it work. So it looks like the undercut was very, very powerful here at Kota. But Ricciardo and Raikkonen both getting held up by these two Haas cars. Obviously, their home Grand Prix. They're not going to kind of give up a position easily. But I'm not complaining here, because this has really helped us close up on Ricciardo and Raikkonen, and also help us with Hamilton as well, because he's right behind us. And so we sort of need this DRS that we'll be getting off Ricciardo as we move on to lap 17. But we move later on into the lap on lap 17. Ricciardo's now overtaking Grosjean, who's going very slowly on medium tyres. I think Grosjean might be trying a one-stop here, because I feel like he's been right up there up front, and he's only coming back down the order at the moment. So he's on very worn medium tyres at this point, probably feeling very second-hand. And we try and make a move around the outside. Frustratingly, though, he blocks us off there, and he's not coming to the pits. As I mentioned, he's probably doing a one-stop. So this time, the kind of, well, not back markers, but the out-of-sync cars are holding us up this time. You can see Verstappen set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so he's going really well. Looks like he's looking good for the win at the moment as he fights Nico Rosberg. But we dive it down the inside into turn 1 as we go up the hill on lap 18, and we get that place. We're up into 6th place, and now we can try and chase down Ricciardo, and Hamilton also gets past Grosjean very easily there. But we move on to lap 19. You can see Ricciardo's getting away from us, actually, and it's Hamilton's the one pressuring us at the moment. So it looks like we have to stop looking forward and ahead of us. We need to look behind us, because now Hamilton is going to try something down the inside, up turn 1, up the climb up the hill. He's going to go down the inside. We're going to try our best to hang around the outside, but Hamilton does really well to squeeze me out there. I lose traction on the curb, and he's got us there, and he's up into 6th place. We're down to 7th at the moment, so Hamilton does really well to squeeze me out. Very, very aggressive, but we come back at him. So yet again, like earlier on in the Grand Prix, we've got DRS, we get a good exit, and we can come back at the Mercedes team. So down the inside, and we'll try and retake 6th place. Looks like we made that a very nice, clean move, and we're up into 6th. That's pretty nice. Grosjean's still hanging about, so Grosjean's definitely doing a one-stop, and I have a feeling my teammate Jenson Button might also be doing a one-stop potentially, because I think he was in the same pack as Grosjean earlier on in the Grand Prix. I've not seen him the entire race, so I think he might be trying a one-stop, which is pretty damn cheeky. But now on to lap 27, let's get back to our race. On lap 22, I should say. We're fighting Hamilton. We go side by side with him into turn 1. So like the previous lap, but this time, crucially, I get the run off the first corner, and we are able to squeeze him out, and we're up into 5th place as someone else has made their pit stop. So I'm pretty sure the people making the pit stops right now are all the one-stop people who are obviously making their one and only stop. They've gone long on the medium tyre since the beginning of the Grand Prix. But on to lap 22 in the 3rd sector, the safety car has been called out. So I think that's for a car being retired. You can see we've only got 20 runners now. And I actually peel into the pits because my soft tyres were really going off. So my thinking is I wasn't going to stay ahead of Hamilton if I stayed on those soft tyres. If the safety car didn't come out, I definitely probably would have been overtaken by Hamilton because those soft tyres were really wearing out quite a lot. In hindsight, should have definitely gone to the medium tyre. But we got lucky. We got very, very lucky with the safety car coming out because now we can make effectively a free pit stop onto super soft tyres. And so now, by the time the safety car comes in, we'll have about 3-4 laps to absolutely gun it on these super soft tyres and try and re-overtake all these people who aren't pitting. I don't think any of these guys are pitting, so they're going to be on worn softs and mediums. We're going to be on fresher super softs. They're a little bit worn because they're a used set that I use in qualifying, but they're still going to be pretty good. And so now, on the restart, it grows green, safety car's in, and we make a move straight away down the inside into the final corner on Marcus Ericsson, not wasting any time here. So now we move on later on into the lap, right behind Valtteri Bottas. You can see the train of cars there all holding each other up. This is working perfectly for us. You can see Grosjean there doing his one stop, and Bottas here, I think, also making a one stop here. I think Bottas, Grosjean, my teammate, I think both Williams cars and both Haas cars all trying one stops, which is very, very audacious here. But we are surely going to overtake Bottas here down the inside. We're going to have the better grip going into this corner, so we make that move. And oh god, it's been contact. Hamilton and Button made contact. So there. So speaking of Button, haven't seen him all race. There is Jenson Button making contact with Hamilton, and Button spun Hamilton out. So great work, teammate. Great stuff. So that worked out an absolute treat for us. So we're up into 5th place now. Grosjean's in 4th. Surely we'll overtake Grosjean very soon. We can see the Red Bull, the 2 Red Bulls, Ricciardo and Verstappen, fighting Rosberg just up ahead, so we could potentially be vying for a podium. We go right down the inside of Grosjean, make the corner very nicely, and we're up into 4th place. Very aggressive move there. And now we move on to lap 27, and maybe we can try and chase down these 2, but we're up in 4th place, and Button is up into 5th behind us. Unfortunately, though, we can't catch them. You can see the gap actually gets quite large. The supers have started to wear so fast. So it's actually quite lucky not to be overtaken by Jenson right at the end of this lap. So we're going to come through and settle for 4th place. I say settle. I didn't think we were going to get 4th by the end of that race. That's awesome. 4th place, and Jenson gets 5th. So that's 4th and 5th for McLaren Honda. That is such a strong position. Such a strong finish. Obviously, we've done 1-3 in Malaysia, but 4 and 5 here at USA, that is awesome. That just shows that our engine upgrades are working, because of course at Malaysia we had the wet race, so you know things get neutralized a little bit when you have a wet race, but in pure dry conditions, pure pace, the McLaren cars had enough pace to finish 4th and 5th. That is absolutely awesome. You can see confirmation there. A load of people doing very surprising one-stops in that race. Very, very surprising. But Max Verstappen comes through for the win. I said, Max was the one fighting for the lead with Nico Rosberg, and he's gone through today. The Red Bulls look pretty strong. I was surprised at how poor Ricciardo was, to be honest, because, they locked out the front row. They were looking very, very strong there, but Ricciardo still came through for a podium nonetheless, so 1-3 for Red Bull. Rosberg in 2nd, Hamilton going down the order after getting spun by my teammate there, which is just hilarious to see, and I was in complete disbelief of what was happening ahead of me, because I overtake Bottas, and then straight away I just get handed 2 free positions there by Button and Hamilton there. You can see that kind of, we're not really moving anywhere in the Drive Championship, we're just kind of consolidating our points at the moment. You can see there's a bit of a change up the top of the Drivers' Championship, and then in terms of the Constructors, Mercedes actually retake the lead from Ferrari, who was quite surprising there in 1st place for a few races there. You can see we've solidified our 4th place even more with this result, so we just need to keep on doing that. Just make sure we finish there, just for, it's not actually going to affect anything in the game, but just for the sake of pride, the fact that we've confirmed that our car is definitely the 4th fastest car on the grid at the moment going into the 2nd season. But yeah, it's been a fantastic episode. 4th and 5th, I can't ask for much more at USA. It just shows our engine upgrades are working really well. I think we could have even got better potentially if I did a different strategy in terms of without the safety car. I think if I went onto the soft tyres on the second set of tyres, potentially, it could have been a better Grand Prix, but you can say so much in hindsight. So, a good race all round. Give it a like, guys, if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.